I'm James Grenning. I'm an independent consultant. I just recently started my own consulting company. I call it Renaissance Software Consulting. So what I do is training, coaching, and consulting in Agile development techniques. And specifically, I'm interested in the technical side, although I've been involved in the management side as well. And then even a little bit more specific, I'm very interested in applying these techniques to embedded software.
Now, James, you're known as the father of planning poker, and it seems like something that the entire industry does is play planning poker these days. It's a very effective planning and estimation technique. Can you tell us a little bit about how you invented that or what the story is?
Well, it was out of necessity. I was in a planning meeting that I was facilitating back, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And I was working with the team, and we were trying to break down the system into stories and estimate them. And there were two guys hanging around the table that were monopolizing the conversation. And there was 6 guys and gals, that were on the verge of falling asleep. And it was taking us an hour to estimate each story. And so I needed to get things moving along. So I had a pack of note cards, and as any good extreme programming coach had in those days, the one tool you had was note cards. And so I took out the note cards, gave one to everybody, and said, this next story we're going to estimate differently. I'd like you each to think about the story and write down your estimate, no talking. When you're all done, lay your card down, and when everybody's got their card down, then we'll flip them over. Okay, that was the birth of planning poker. What happened over time, though, after a few more stories went by, everybody around the table had a handful of cards. And it looks like we were playing cards, and then they're doing their discards. So it looked to me like poker, and I wrote up a little story. And I put that on our website, and Mike Cohn came across it and has made it famous. And so I'm very grateful to Mike for doing that, popularizing it. But that's where it came from.
What were the original units that you used?
You know, I don't know. I'm not sure if we were doing unitless numbers or if we were doing man weeks. It was kind of at the time where we were debating what would be best. I know right now I'm a firm believer in unitless numbers.
So you know the planning poker game has been analyzed by the Similar Research Group. Are you familiar with that?
I heard something about that, but what did they discover?
Well, and they discovered that that it's very effective for a lot of reasons, about avoiding anchoring, that simultaneous estimates, group averages. Basically, your technique has been given the seal of approval by a research committee that says it's a highly effective way to engender collaboration and to discuss,
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm happy to hear that. It's on its own now. It's taken on its own life.
Did you get any inspiration from wideband Delphi, or had you used wideband Delphi?
I had heard of it before, and I don't know if that was in the back of my mind. I had a pragmatic issue to deal with in a meeting, and we had to be done, and we weren't going to get done. And so this was a way to get done.
Well, we owe you a thanks for that.
Well, I was happy to be in that situation and have something interesting happen that people have taken advantage of. I do consult in many different places, and when I get there, inevitably people have decks of cards from Mike Cohn, and it's very interesting and rewarding to see that people are, using the technique.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks for inviting me.